If you're over 60, you've probably heard that sardines are one of the healthiest foods you can eat. And it's true, these tiny fish are loaded with omega-3 fats for your heart and brain, calcium for your bones, and protein to keep your muscles strong. No wonder many doctors and dietitians recommend adding sardines to your weekly meals. But here's the part most people never hear. If you eat sardines together with the wrong foods, you could be quietly undoing those benefits, or even creating new problems for your digestion, your blood pressure, or your joints. It sounds surprising, doesn't it? Because sardines seem so simple, yet they're actually very nutrient-dense. That density makes them powerful for your body. But it also means they don't always play nice with certain foods on your plate. When the wrong combinations happen, instead of supporting your health, the meal may leave you feeling sluggish, bloated, or put extra strain on areas that are already sensitive after 60, like your bones, your heart, or your kidneys. And the truth is, many of these risky combinations are found in everyday meals people prepare without a second thought. The good news is that once you know what to avoid, it's easy to keep sardines as a safe and beneficial part of your diet. In this video, we're going to uncover the 3 specific foods you should never pair with sardines after 60, explain the science behind why those pairings cause trouble, and give you simple alternatives so you can still enjoy the flavor and benefits without worry. So if sardines are already part of your meals, or if you've been thinking about adding them, this guide is especially for you. Stay with me, because the very first food on the list is something so common. Most people have eaten it with sardines many times, without ever realizing the hidden risks. One of the most common pairings people make with sardines is mixing them with dairy. Maybe you've seen sardines served on crackers with a layer of cream cheese, or perhaps you enjoy them with a cheesy pasta dish, or even a glass of milk alongside your meal. It sounds harmless, but for someone over 60, this combination can quietly create more problems than benefits. Here's why. Sardines are already one of the richest natural sources of calcium because of their soft, edible bones. At the same time, they are packed with vitamin D, which helps your body use that calcium properly. Now, when you add dairy on top, milk, cheese, yogurt, you're adding even more calcium to the mix. That might sound like a bonus for bone strength, but in reality, your body can only absorb a certain amount of calcium at one time. If you overload, much of it simply passes through without being used. Even worse, excess calcium can compete with other important minerals in your meal, such as magnesium and zinc, leaving you with less overall balance. There's also the digestion factor. Sardines are rich and oily, while dairy foods are heavy and protein-dense. Together, they can be difficult for the stomach to process, especially if your digestion has slowed down a bit with age. Many people report feeling bloated, gassy, or even constipated after combining the two. And if you deal with lactose sensitivity, which becomes more common after 60, the discomfort can be even stronger. Beyond digestion, there's a hidden long-term concern. Too much calcium consumed at once has been linked, in some studies, to an increased risk of kidney stones, particularly in older adults. Since sardines already give you a solid dose of calcium in a natural form, adding dairy at the same meal may push your intake into the too much, too fast range. And if you also take a calcium supplement, the problem multiplies. The good news is you don't need to give up either sardines or dairy, you just need to separate them. Think of it like this. Let sardines shine on their own at lunch, and enjoy your glass of milk or piece of cheese at breakfast or later in the evening. By spreading them out, your body gets a steady supply of nutrients without overload. Another option is to swap the dairy in your sardine dishes with lighter, plant-based pairings. For example, try sardines with avocado, which adds healthy fats and makes them easier to digest, or with a squeeze of lemon, which not only brightens the flavor but also helps your body absorb iron from the fish. So the next time you're about to combine sardines with cheese or yogurt, pause and think about timing. Your bones don't need all that calcium at once, and your stomach will thank you for keeping things simpler. In a moment, we'll move to the second food combination, which is even sneakier because it hides inside packaged meals and everyday snacks, and it can raise your blood pressure without you realizing it. Another food combination that quietly causes trouble is pairing sardines with salty, Processed foods. Sardines themselves are naturally salty, especially when canned in brine or oil. Add them to foods that are already high in sodium like packaged crackers, instant noodles, cured meats, or even store-bought sauces, and suddenly you've created a meal that can overwhelm your heart and kidneys without you noticing. For adults over 60, this is a real concern. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sodium. The kidneys don't filter as efficiently, and blood vessels can stiffen, making it harder to manage blood pressure. When you stack sardines, which can contain 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium per serving, on top of something like salty crackers or a processed soup, you can easily cross more than half of your recommended daily sodium limit in a single sitting. And that's before counting the rest of your meals for the day. The effect adds up quickly. High sodium levels pull extra water into your bloodstream, which raises the volume of blood flowing through your arteries. That extra pressure strains the walls of your vessels, making your heart work harder. Over time, this can worsen high blood pressure, a condition that already affects more than half of people over 60. For those dealing with heart disease, kidney issues, or swelling in the legs and ankles, the risks are even greater. But it's not just about the numbers on your blood pressure cuff. Combining sardines with processed, salty foods can also leave you feeling bloated, thirsty, and sluggish. That full, heavy feeling after a salty meal isn't just uncomfortable. It's your body signaling stress. And when you're trying to enjoy sardines for their omega-3 benefits, it doesn't make sense to cancel those out with a sodium overload. The good news is there are simple ways to enjoy sardines without tipping the sodium scale. First, check the label when buying canned sardines. Look for ones labeled in water or no added salt. These can have up to 40% less sodium than the traditional versions. Second, watch what you pair them with. Instead of salty crackers, try whole grain toast or rice cakes with no added salt. Instead of mixing sardines into a processed pasta sauce, use fresh tomatoes, garlic, and herbs. You'll get more flavor and fewer hidden additives. And if you enjoy sardines in salads, skip the store-bought dressings, which often hide a surprising amount of salt. A squeeze of lemon and a drizzle of olive oil works just as well and helps your body absorb the healthy fats. One practical tip is to think about balance across the whole day. If you know you're having sardines for lunch, keep your breakfast and dinner lighter on sodium. For example, start the day with fruit and oatmeal instead of bacon or sausage, and end with a simple vegetable stir-fry. That way, the sardines remain a highlight rather than a tipping point. So the next time you reach for sardines, remember, they already bring plenty of salt to the table. Keep them away from heavily processed, salty foods, and you'll protect your blood pressure, support your heart, and still enjoy their rich flavor. Coming up, we'll look at the third food pairing, and this one surprises a lot of people because it's not about salt or calcium. It's about alcohol, and how mixing sardines with wine or beer can stress your liver and even trigger gout flare-ups. The third food combination to be careful with is sardines and alcohol. Now, this one catches people by surprise because on the surface it seems harmless, even enjoyable. A glass of wine with a sardine appetizer, or a beer with sardine pizza, sounds like a perfectly normal meal. But for people over 60, this pairing can create hidden risks for your liver, your joints, and your metabolism. Here's the reason why. Sardines are naturally rich in something called purines. When your body digests purines, it produces uric acid. Normally, uric acid is filtered out by the kidneys, but as we age, this process can slow down. High uric acid levels can build up in the blood, leading to painful gout flare-ups, especially in the feet and ankles. Alcohol makes the problem worse because it increases uric acid production while also reducing how efficiently the kidneys remove it. So when sardines and alcohol are consumed together, you're giving your body a double dose of stress that can trigger painful inflammation. But it's not just about gout. Both sardines and alcohol place extra work on your liver. Sardines are oily, high in healthy fats and proteins, which require strong liver function to process. Alcohol, on the other hand, is metabolized almost entirely in the liver and can cause irritation or even fatty buildup over time. When eaten together, especially in older adults whose liver function may not be as resilient as before, the combined load can leave you feeling sluggish or fatigued after the meal. Over the long term, it can contribute to more serious problems like fatty liver disease. Another hidden effect is on hydration. Alcohol acts as a diuretic, meaning it makes you lose water through urine. Sardines, especially canned ones, are already salty and can dehydrate you further. This combination can leave you waking up at night with muscle cramps, headaches, or simply feeling drained. For seniors who may already struggle to stay hydrated, this is a risk that adds up quickly. So what's the solution? It doesn't mean you can never enjoy a glass of wine if you like sardines. The key is moderation and timing. If you plan to enjoy sardines, try pairing them with water, sparkling water with lemon, or even a cup of green tea instead of alcohol. If you do choose to drink, keep it to a small glass and avoid having it at the same time as sardines. Give your body space to process one before adding the other. You might enjoy sardines at lunch, then a glass of wine later in the evening with a different meal. Another trick is to add hydration boosters. Pair sardines with a side of cucumber, lettuce, or fresh fruit to balance the saltiness and help your body stay hydrated. These foods also add potassium, which can counteract some of the blood pressure effects of both alcohol and sodium. The big takeaway here is this: sardines and alcohol together may feel like a celebration, but inside your body, it's more like a tug of war. Your joints, your liver, and your hydration all pay the price. Separate them, or choose lighter pairings, and you can still enjoy both, just not at the same moment. And with that, we've covered the 3 food pairings to avoid with sardines after 60: dairy, salty processed foods, and alcohol. But you might be wondering, what's the safe way to enjoy sardines regularly? Don't worry. In the next section, we'll share a clear action plan with meal ideas, safe pairings, and tips that let you enjoy sardines with confidence. If you're finding this helpful so far, take a quick moment to support the channel. Drop a like on this video. It really helps more people over 60 discover these health tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Do you already eat sardines regularly? Or are you just starting to add them to your meals? Share your experience in the comments below. Your stories often inspire others in this community. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Wellness. Every week, we break down practical health advice in simple, easy-to-follow steps so you can stay strong, active, and confident at any age. By subscribing, you won't miss the next guide where we share exactly how to build meals that protect your heart, your bones, and your energy after 60. All right, let's get back to the action plan, so you'll know the safe and smart ways to keep sardines in your diet without the risks. Now that we've uncovered the 3 food pairings to avoid with sardines, let's shift gears and talk about what you can do, because sardines are truly one of the best foods for people over 60, rich in omega-3s for your heart and brain, vitamin D and calcium for your bones, and protein to keep your muscles strong. The key is learning how to enjoy them safely, in ways that maximize benefits without putting stress on your body. The first part of the action plan is timing. Think of sardines as the main feature of one meal in your day, not something to squeeze into a heavy, complicated plate. For example, have sardines at lunch with fresh vegetables and whole grains. Then save dairy or richer foods for breakfast or dinner. This spreads nutrients evenly across the day, which helps your body absorb more without overload. The second step is choosing the right type of sardines. Not all cans are the same. Some are packed in heavy oils with added salt, while others are lighter and cleaner. Look for labels that say in water, in olive oil, or no added salt. These options cut down on unnecessary sodium and give you more control over flavor. If possible, try fresh or frozen sardines. They often taste milder and let you season them your way. Third, focus on pairings that complement sardines instead of competing with them. Fresh vegetables are the best partner. Think cucumbers, tomatoes, spinach, or bell peppers. They're full of fiber, potassium, and antioxidants that balance out the richness of the fish. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, or whole wheat bread provide slow, steady energy and help stabilize digestion. And don't forget citrus. A simple squeeze of lemon or lime not only brightens flavor but also helps your body absorb the iron from sardines more efficiently. Another great pairing is healthy plant fats. Avocado, olives, or a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil add creaminess without the heaviness of dairy. They also provide monounsaturated fats, which work alongside the omega-3s in sardines to protect your heart and reduce inflammation. Instead of cheese on crackers with sardines, try avocado spread or hummus on whole grain toast. It's just as satisfying but much easier on your body. Hydration is another part of the solution stack. Because sardines can be salty, always pair them with water, sparkling water, or even herbal tea. Staying hydrated helps your kidneys process minerals more smoothly and reduces the risk of feeling bloated. If you enjoy sardines in a salad, load the bowl with water-rich vegetables like lettuce, celery, or radishes to add even more hydration to the meal. Portion size matters too. A standard serving of sardines is about 1 small can, or 3 to 4 fish. That's enough to get the nutrients you need without overwhelming your system. Eating 2 or 3 servings per week is a sweet spot, frequent enough for heart and brain benefits, but not so much that you risk excess purines or sodium. Finally, think about meal planning. Here are a few safe and delicious examples. Mediterranean lunch plate. Sardines with cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, olives, and a drizzle of olive oil, served with whole grain pita. Simple sardine salad. Sardines on a bed of spinach with lemon juice, walnuts, and apple slices for sweetness. Rice bowl. Brown rice topped with sardines, steamed broccoli, and avocado, finished with sesame seeds. Each of these meals keeps the focus on sardines while balancing them with vegetables, grains, and healthy fats. They avoid the pitfalls of too much dairy, salt, or alcohol, and they deliver steady energy that supports your heart, bones, and digestion. So the action plan is clear. Space out your nutrients. Choose low-sodium sardines. Pair them with plants and whole grains. Stay hydrated and enjoy moderate portions a few times a week. That way, sardines remain a safe, powerful ally in your diet, one that keeps giving you benefits without hidden downsides. And in just a moment, we'll tackle some of the biggest myths and questions about sardines. Because you might be wondering, aren't sardines always healthy, no matter what? Or does it really matter if they're canned or fresh? Let's clear up those common doubts next. Let's take a moment to clear up some of the most common myths and questions about sardines. Because when people hear that sardines are a superfood, they often assume there's no downside. But like any food, the details matter, especially after 60. Myth 1. Sardines are always healthy, no matter what. The truth is, sardines can be incredibly healthy, but only if you pay attention to how they're prepared and what you eat them with. Sardines packed in heavy oils or with lots of added salt can quickly turn a healthy meal into a sodium bomb. And as we've seen, combining them with dairy, processed foods, or alcohol can make digestion harder and increase hidden risks. Sardines themselves are nutrient powerhouses, but the context of your meal is what decides whether they help or harm. Myth 2. Canned sardines aren't as good as fresh ones. Many people assume canned fish is automatically less healthy. In reality, canned sardines are one of the best preserved foods you can buy. They retain most of their omega-3s, calcium, and protein, and they're very convenient. In fact, canned sardines are often safer than fresh fish because they're low in mercury compared to tuna or mackerel. The key is reading the label. Choose brands with minimal added salt, packed in water or olive oil, and you'll still get nearly all the benefits. Fresh sardines can taste lighter and less salty, but nutritionally, both options are strong. Myth 3. You can eat unlimited sardines without worry. This one needs careful attention. Sardines are rich in purines, which can raise uric acid levels. For most people, 2 to 3 servings per week is perfectly safe and very beneficial. But if you eat sardines every single day, especially alongside alcohol, you may raise your risk of have gout flare-ups or kidney strain, balance is the answer. Regular, moderate portions keep you healthy without overload. FAQ: what about sardine bones? Are they safe to eat? Yes, absolutely. The soft bones in sardines are not only safe but also one of the best sources of natural calcium, especially important after 60. They're fully edible and provide extra support for your bones and teeth. In fact, eating the bones is one of the reasons sardines beat many other fish for senior nutrition. Aren't sardines too fatty for older adults? This is a common concern, because sardines do feel rich, but most of their fat is omega-3, which reduces inflammation, supports heart health, and even helps maintain brain function. Unlike fried foods or processed snacks, sardine fat is your friend. The trick is portion control. Stick to one small can per serving, and pair with vegetables to keep the meal light and balanced. Can sardines replace supplements? In some ways, yes. A serving of sardines provides vitamin D, calcium, and omega-3s that many people usually take in pill form. However, it's not a one-to-one replacement. If your doctor has prescribed a supplement, don't stop without guidance. Think of sardines as a natural boost, something that supports your nutrition, but not a total substitute for medical treatment. By clearing up these myths and questions, we can see the bigger picture. Sardines are excellent for people over 60, but they're not magic. Eat them wisely. Avoid the risky pairings, and keep portions moderate. That's how you get the full benefits without the hidden downsides. We've covered a lot today, so let's take a moment to bring it all together. Sardines truly are one of the most powerful foods you can eat after 60, packed with omega-3s for your heart and brain, calcium and vitamin D for your bones, and protein to keep your muscles strong. But like any powerful food, the benefits depend on how you enjoy them. We uncovered the 3 pairings you should avoid. First, dairy, which can overload your calcium intake and make digestion harder. Second, salty processed foods, which push sodium to dangerous levels and raise blood pressure. And third, alcohol, which, when combined with sardines, puts extra strain on your liver and raises uric acid, increasing the risk of gout. The solution isn't to give up sardines, it's to enjoy them wisely. Space out your calcium sources, skip the extra salt, separate them from alcohol, and instead pair sardines with vegetables, whole grains, citrus, and healthy plant fats. Keep portions moderate, about 1 small can, 2 or 3 times per week, and you'll unlock all the benefits without the risks. Now, here's where you come in. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to click like. It lets us know these topics matter to you, and it helps other people over 60 discover this life-changing information. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Wellness. Every week, we break down health advice into simple, practical steps you can actually use so you can stay strong, active, and confident at any age. I'd also love to hear from you. How do you usually enjoy sardines? Do you have a favorite recipe or a question about pairings? Drop it in the comments below. Your stories and questions not only help you, but also help build a community where we all learn from each other. Remember, food can be your most powerful ally for healthy aging. And with just a few smart choices, sardines can stay on your plate as a safe, delicious, and healing food for years to come.